Aglaonis, Anaxagoras, Archimedes, Archytas, Aristaeus, Aristarchus, Callippus, Democritus, Empedocles, Hephaestio, Heraclides, Aeschylus, Hippocrates, Marcobius, Martinius Capella, Parmenides, Porphyry, Posidonius, Proclus, and Thales. Those are some of the most notable Greek astronomers in world history. And hundreds of years later, after their existence, they are known to this very day for their decisive work, contributed to the discovery of the cosmos, the stars, and the universe that surrounds us. However, people on BitChute have scrubbed the name of those astronomers from their memory, their history, their critical thinking skills, and their arguments. And because they have scrubbed the names of those astronomers from their record, they can now come on the platform and can propagate that the achievements of the white race in astronomy, the scientific achievements of Europe, can be discarded, forsaken, forgotten, and abandoned simply because within school and within the modern Jewish framework, they can now attest that the astronomy, scientific calculations, and discoveries of all these astronomers are false, or corrupted, or distorted. But let me ask you this. Is it logical to deny the discoveries of your forefathers? Because the common one-liner in National Socialist circles and revisionist circles is to honor your ancestors, and to never forget them, and to cherish what your past is. And these astronomers, along with all of the other contributing European civilizations to our own blood, contributed mathematical talent, theory, and thesis, and objective calculations to the abstract of what is around us throughout the universe. As for flat Earth, as for the belief where people think our world is a disk where a shiny ball and a rock are the only thing rotating around us, where our planet, our hills, our mountains, our scenery is on a flat-shaped disk, that belief is not of Aryan scientific origin. It is from the Talmud. Bekoret 16a. To be specific, go into the Babylonian Talmud, look up the chapter Bekoret 16a, and there you will find the origins of flat Earth. There you will find the origins which are anti-Aryan science, anti-European science. The old, washed, Talmudic way of thinking and the world, flat Earth, stems from Bekoret 16a. Flat Earth stems from the same book that promotes, and not limited to, pedophilia, child sacrifice, usury, subversion of the Gentile nations, murder, thievery, and even the slander and smear campaign of Jesus Christ. So all of those people that are referencing the Bible as the foundational source of Aryan science, that the earth is flat. The science that the earth is flat comes from the Talmud, Bekoret 16a, which is also a book that says Jesus' mother, Mary, is burning in hell, and that Jesus Christ himself is covered in excrement. Let me ask you, all of you revisionists and Holocaust deniers, quote-unquote, revisionists, National Socialists, etc., what is more of a good word to you when it comes to the scientific conclusions of our cosmos? An origin story that stems from the Talmud, from its earliest sources, that also says that your cattle, that your God is burning in hell and is drenched in semen and permits child sacrifice and rape of daughters as young as 3, and allows murder, thievery, and swindling of your race as a religious right? Or are you going to honor your ancestors, which are the Greeks, who had countless philosophers, mathematicians, scientists in their day that mathematically calculated with graphs, drawings, logical conclusions, etc., that our world is indeed a sphere, that we are on a rotational axis, that there is a reason why in America right now it is summer, and why in Australia it is winter, and why in Argentina it is winter, and why there is equator. Equator is a Greek word. Cosmos is a Greek word that means universal. The science that the world is a sphere and is on a rotational axis that spins in a void of space with a star that provides light, life to plants, animals, vitamin D, etc., all the nutrients that keep us alive, is on a rotational axis spinning through a void of space. That is a Aryan, European, Adamic conclusion, not a Jewish one. But because the space programs and NASA, because we all must understand that according to flat earthers, it's not the Greek astronomers that are the arbiter of Aryan science, it's NASA, it's SpaceX, it's all the modern Jewish institutions that have coined the names of the planets, that have made the mathematical conclusions, that have made the arbitrary science, that have made the thesis, that have pondered upon the theories, that have looked through the telescopes, that have crafted scientific instruments to determine what is actually the truth. No. It wasn't Europeans ranging from Great Britain all the way to Athens that did that. No. It was the Jews. It was NASA. It was SpaceX. It was Elon Musk, because all the achievements of the white race to these flat-tards must be equated to modern Jewry instead of authentic Aryan scientific thought, which was perpetuated, thought of, calculated, and theorized even for a myriad of hundreds of years, ranging from the earliest days of antiquity to the so-called Middle Ages, while plagues and poisoning of the wells was even going on. Baccarat 16a, where it talks and proves that the earth is flat because of the iris in a cow, and that the iris of an eye has a flat shape. Therefore, that must mean that the universe itself is not vast, that we are living on a pancake. The words of the Jews are unattested. It is not the Greeks who made the Arcadian marble statues, who made the Library of Alexandria, who made structures beyond your wildest imaginations, beyond your own creativity. It is not the Greeks that made civilization and Western philosophy and Western art and marble statues that should be trusted. It is the oral word of the Talmud that must be trusted. The oral word of the Torah, back in the days when the Jews mistakenly were the chosen priesthood. We must not trust the word of Aryans. We must not trust the word of our ancestors. You must not look into the deep page books of Greek, Hellenistic, and Roman philosophy to figure out the truth. No, you must always look at the whims of a space agency, and Elon Musk and NASA as the arbiter of this fake conspiracy that we're on a rotational axis. Forget the meteorology that stemmed from the Greeks. Forget the science that stemmed from the Greeks and the Romans. No. It is all the work of NASA. And if you dare ever suggest that the world is on a rotational axis and that it is, in fact, a sphere, no, you're not getting that from hundreds of pages of Aryan science and Greek philosophers and astronomers ranging back thousands of years. Oh, no, there, Amos. You're getting it from them goddamn blaster Jews. This is simply another argument between Jews and Europeans. I'm not going to make a 45-minute, 50-minute, an hour and a half long thesis telling you each mathematical conclusion, every single fucking crevice of why the earth is flat, or of why the earth is not flat, etc. The science, the mathematical conclusions, the Aryan history is there. I gave you the names of the astronomers who first discovered, who first propagated, who first founded upon this objective fact. Their writings, calculations, and thesis are translated in English. Get off your lazy fucking ass and look at it. Go back into the video at the very beginning. Google each philosopher, astronomer, meteorologist, scientist of ancient Greece that I named. Look at their work, which is 100% Aryan, which is 100% European source, and you come back and fucking tell me that you reject that. Because if you do, you have no sense in the same tune coming to any of us and adoring the National Socialists or telling us that we should honor our ancestors when you can't even trust their own authentic word. And then let's go back to Bakoret 16a, the origin of flat-tard theory. From the Jews, from the Talmud, from the disgusting book that you infatuately criticize, supposedly on a daily basis. And then you come and tell me that us Aryans, us Europeans, should trust the Jewish word and the Jewish science over the Greek, and over the Roman, and over the European. And I'll address this other argument too. To the Christians who are going to come in my, and I'm a Christian too, but to the Christians who are going to come in my comments and slander all that work, all those calculations as pagan, yes, so what? You have to accept that Europeans didn't always accept Christ. And some Europeans to this very day, harden their hearts, won't. What I'm asking you of, these astronomers, scientists, meteorologists, all these people are your descended blood. Whereas those who made the Talmud, those who made the Tanakh and the Torah, and all this oral grid grab of how Gentiles should be persecuted and drenched in blood and shit and everything else, that is where you're getting the flat-tard shit from. That is really the origin story of all of this nonsense. The Greeks and Romans are your extended family. They are the bloodline of your race. So fucking listen to them. Honor thy ancestors, as is the commandment of National Socialism, as is the commandment of the movement. If you honored your ancestors, you would look into their writings, their calculations, their science that they crafted out of their own flesh and blood, and thus would conclude that the earth is on a rotational axis and it's a goddamn sphere. There is no need of further debate. Flat earth is Jewish. Spherical earth is Aryan. And my science doesn't come from NASA or any of the retarded space agencies or modern liberal calculations that you accuse that it does. No. Our science comes from genuine Aryan, authentic thought stemmed over a period of hundreds of years that was calculated meticulously and carefully. Down to the finite T in the thread of the woven needle was this science crafted. And it is the reason why all of our cosmos and stars are named after Greek and Roman gods. Why Jupiter, Pluto, Uranus, Saturn, Mars, Venus, Mercury. It is why our planets have the names of Aryan gods and not Jewish gods. It is why each time we look into the telescope and we find a new burning star, or a universe that is dying out, or even a shooting star that is going across the sky, we name it after the Greeks and the Romans instead of the Jews. Because the Greeks and the Romans are the ones that crafted this science, not the Talmud. The Talmud crafted flat earth.